Hello everyone, I am Praptavi Sminesh Rao, a student from the Department of Interior Design, PV Polytechnic, SNDT University. I am here with our proud alumni, Ms. Nikita Manwani, the founder of Nakashi Luxury Living. So, ma'am, can you walk us through the journey of how you became the founder of Nakashi?
Okay, so I passed out in 2013 as an interior design from this college. And initially, I started working as an interior designer for almost 2.5, 3 years. And I always had a passion towards furniture. I always had this keen interest in furniture. And I always very randomly used to say that I want to have my own collection of furniture. So while I was working with the interior and architect firms, I got an opportunity to work with a luxury furniture company, and that's where I exactly learned how the industry works. And I almost like 1.5 year later, I was ready to start on my own. For me, job was always a temporary plan. I always looked at it as something that would make me learn and get into the market. And I always wanted to have my own thing. So I started very early when with my entrepreneur journey. So yeah.
So, today you are here not as a student but as an alumni to inspire more students. How are you feeling today?
It's deeply nostalgic, to be very honest. When I was coming here, I was actually getting flashbacks of the times that we've spent, like the good times and the tough ones for sure. But yeah, it's very overwhelming and nice.
That's great. So, what actually inspired you to go into furniture design, but you were aspiring interiors?
So, when I was working as an interior designer, the biggest drawback of working as an interior designer is that you are working on the same space for, say, around 8 to 10 months, sometimes 12 months, and it gets really monotonous. At least for me, it was getting monotonous, and my interest started saturating because of the length and the timelines of the projects. So, and also simultaneously coming from a furniture business family, I was very much interested in having my own collection of furniture, like I told you. So that's how I transitioned into a product industry and then a service industry.
So, you had guidance of your parents or your family
So, yeah,
background?
I come from a furniture background business family. So, definitely that was there back in Rajasthan. Um, that that definitely was there because I had seen it from childhood.
So, now do you think like the students who are aspiring right now, as a student, when you stepped into the professional world, was it difficult for you? Was it tough to face the challenges?
I think the college course pretty much prepares you with the hardships, because I think the whole process of learning interior design in college is way more difficult than the real world, because you're technically in college for 9 hours and then you have 4 5 hours assignments back home. So, but when you actually get into the professional world, when you're working with some company, it's a 9 to 5 job, and which is relatively, I think, easier than the college phase. I think the college deliberately prepares you for that. That's what I personally feel.
So, what were the biggest challenges that you faced as a professional yourself?
um, See, the biggest challenge that you face after college is mainly college doesn't prepare you in terms of dealing with clients, in terms of dealing with your team, because you get to meet very different people. And in college you're still protected within a limited number of people. So the most challenging part, I personally feel, is uh, like you have to deal with many different people, many different temperaments. With each client it's different. And so to navigate yourself through all different kinds of people, I think that is the most challenging part of it. And
But
especially in my industry, because on one end there are high end clients and on the other end there's labor. So, you know, the spectrum is very different.
So you changed from interior design to furniture design. How different do you think? Like they are correlated?
It's completely different. They are definitely correlated, but as an industry, they are completely different because interior is more on a macro level. There are multiple aspects starting from your civil to your furnishings. But furniture design specifically is a completely different ballgame altogether. It's way more detail oriented, and your ergonomics, your anthropomatics, everything changes, which is far different from an interior design job. Yeah.
Yes. So, like I said, I am a student right now. So I would like to know what was the best thing you learned in as a student in this college that helped you in your professional life?
I think the assignments, the group assignments that we do, and like model making and window display and market research, that really helps because when you're working in a group setting, you deal with different students with you. So everybody has a different uh, passion, everybody has a different speed to their work, their design sense is different. So it definitely teaches you in terms of how you can work in a team. That is something, and that is something which is very important whether you are an entrepreneur or you're working in an architecture firm. It's very important to how you deal with other people and how you collaborate and work together.
So, what was the goal that you had set up for yourself when you stepped into this field, and do you think you achieved it?
I think your goals are always evolving, and I most definitely I feel that I have achieved it. When I started off, I wanted to have my own firm, and which is definitely there. And but as you grow and as you evolve, your goals are getting higher. As you achieve one thing, you're on to the next. So I think it's a long-term journey with goals. Like you're always chasing something new and something more than what you've already achieved.
As a professional, what do you think are the most essential things when one person steps into the professional world?
So when you start working, you mean?
Yeah.
When you start working, the most important thing is your attitude and your openness to learn. Because when you pass out from college, it's not that you know it all. And when you get into the real world of working, there'll be real time experiences can be different for different people. But that attitude of learning and being open to new experiences is the most important thing, I feel, because it's a journey of ever learning and always evolving. Because also in terms of the market, like there every day there's some new material that is coming in, there are new trends, things are changing so fast, technology is upgrading. So the attitude of learning has to be there, and it's a lifelong journey. Whether you have a 10-year-old experience or 20 years of experience, you have to keep learning. Yeah, and you have to keep upgrading yourself with the new world.
So, as a student, personally, to a experienced person, I would like to ask this question: was there ever a point where you felt like you should stop, you should leave everything?
I think I had a phase in my college also where I wanted to leave and give up, but I think it's very important to keep reminding yourself that why you started, why you're here. Everybody goes through difficult times. There is no escape to that, and you have to just hold on. Like you don't have to give up, and that's very very important because sometimes. During your studies also, during your course phase also, it can get difficult because it's something, this course is challenging. It's not a piece of cake, that it's not just colors and fancy designs. It's technical at the end of the day, and it's very important to keep reminding yourself that why you started off in the beginning, so that you get that motivation of not giving up.
So you started with the brand Nakashi Luxury Living. So what were the challenges you faced when you just started with it?
See, since I started really early on, I had around 2.5, 3 years of work experience, and then I started. So, and that time things were changing in terms of market also. Like I saw demonetization, I saw GST coming in. So there were many different things which were happening in the market level. And when you start, see, when you're working with a firm, it's very different because there you can still make mistakes on paper and that will be corrected on paper. So when you start, you have to be really mindful that your mistakes should not come at the cost of your clients. So having that experience of learning before you start on your own is very, very important. Another challenge when you start on your own is getting clients, getting conversions, because for people to trust you, it is tough in the beginning. And also price points, that at what price would you sell, since I got into a product industry and not service industry. So I transitioned from service to product. So your price points can be challenging, like setting the prices that you want to sell your goods for, and converting your clients, having your clients to trust you. Those are the initial challenges that you face. But I think the key is to just give it time and have patience and not give up. uh, when you don't give up, and when you really believe in what you're doing and what your product is, then eventually I think the path manifests itself. Yeah.
As a woman, to a woman, the basic question: how do you balance your professional life and personal life?
Let me keep it real. I am single. I am fully into my work, dedicated to my work. I really don't have a personal life to give you a suggestion on that. But I just feel that I'm happy where I am today, giving my all to my work. But eventually I will transition from that. So maybe then I will be able to answer this.
Do you think we have enough scope in this field for students?
Most definitely, yes. I mean, it's a very diversified industry. It's not just that you have to stick to interior design, but there are many different things, like how I transitioned from interiors to furniture design. Many people get into visual merchandising, people get into FFE. So I think it's it's a foundational course, and there is great scope in many different things that one can do after passing out.
Now, as you are in the professional life, how is AI affecting the future of interior design or furniture design?
AI has two sides to it. It can be it can make a designer very lazy, and but if you are mindful, it is a game changing tool. I feel it can amplify your speed. It's really, really helpful. Like personally speaking, uh, like designing is all about ideation, right? Like you have your concepts in mind, and then you have to put it from your mind to pen to paper. And the whole transition from thought to design, actually getting it on paper and then actually converting into a product or a renter, it's a very time consuming process. Being an entrepreneur, I never did I mean, initially yes I did, but I never did in the later stage of my career. I never did the 3D models myself, or working drawings myself. I have people doing it for me. Uh, but that whole process of converting your thought to the product render was much longer. But now, using AI, personally speaking, I just sketch out the products. I know what material board I have for the particular product, and with just sketches and the right mood board and the right material board for your product, and just basic explanation about the vibe of the product. It's very, very fast to convert your thought into a product render. Earlier, it may take a day or two, maybe, or sometimes if it's an easier design, it may take few hours. But now with AI, it's just within minutes, and it's very like I don't have to depend on another person to do the 3D for me. So there's a lot of good benefits, provided you use it in the right way. You do not exploit the tool, and you use it ethically, and do not get out of touch with your own creativity.
Definitely. And what was the best experience you experienced in this field?
For me, personally speaking, after I started with Nakashi, I was working as a freelancer. But the most satisfying experience was when I opened up my studio in Bandra West. And and I did it by myself without taking any help from family. And that has been the most satisfying experience in my entire career journey.
Wonderful. So now, as we are reaching towards the end, what will be your message to upcoming students who are opting for this course?
I would like to say that there will be hundreds of times when you would feel scared, or you will lose the motivation to go ahead, but do not give up. Just hold on. And this course is not a rosy course where you just it's not colors and fancy things, but it's technical, and it will get challenging, it will get difficult. But I think the course is designed in a way so that you find your professional journey easier. Like, I think the college does it very correctly, that they put you through so much of hard work, like put you through so much of difficult times in during the course, that when you actually walk your professional journey, it's relatively much easier. So the college is only preparing you for better times and a better professional. And I think just don't give up in the middle, like, just be open to learning. Just hold on when you find it difficult. I've found it difficult many times during my course. Even in my professional journey, there were times when I wanted to give up, but I think the only thing is to hold on and just have patience and have faith. So yeah, that's the most important thing I feel, that just don't give up.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you.
It was
Thank you
wonderful
for having
talking
me.
to you.